Hey you guys, how's it going? My name's Jeff. Welcome to the channel. If you have been here before, you already know. Today, I want to share with you something that I think will really help you to become a better investor. So by the time you get to the end of this video, you will have an idea about investing that maybe your buddy down the street or your friend in school or that guy in the cubicle down around the corner, maybe they don't know about these things. So here's what I think you should know. Whatever's going on right now in the stock market is probably not going to go on forever. That's just the way it goes. But people always kind of imagine, because we're human, that whatever's happening right now is going to go on into the future indefinitely. I'm here to say things change. It's true. Think about this. Last year, the stock market lost like more than 20%. And people were all doom and gloom going into 2023 and worried about the recession, about inflation, about all kinds of things, right? You know the things. And all of a sudden now, in a short period of time, we have the S&P 500 up more than 10%, VGT earning more than 30% so far this year, and you got Nvidia gaining 25% in a day, and all of a sudden the stock market looks like a different place. So I'm here to tell you that sometimes investing in stuff that's not really hot right now might be an intelligent way to approach investing for the future. And that just means that sometimes the assets or the stocks that are not the most sexy and hot and going up the most, sometimes they get kind of cheap because people are leaving them to go into the Microsofts and Apples and Nvidias of the world. Sometimes you can find some pretty compelling purchase prices for stuff that's out of favor. So today, I'm going to share with you 5 ETFs for the rest of your life. And how did I choose this title? Well, these had to be ETFs that I would personally invest in, and not just for the next 3 years or 5 years. I'm not a fair weather investment friend. I'm in it for the long term. And taking a look at the ETFs I'm going to talk about, I'm looking at the first one. I already own this one. I've been investing every month so far this year. Invested in January, February, March, April, May, and come June 1st, I'm going to be making another investment. And what is that ETF? It's VHT. This is the Vanguard Healthcare ETF. And people are always going to need medical care. They're going to need pharmaceutical products. They're going to need medical devices. They're going to need health insurance. And all of the companies held in this ETF are involved in some way in the healthcare sector. This is offered by Vanguard. It's got a 0.10 expense ratio, which is super low. And I'm just going to share with you guys the top 3 holdings just to give you like little lay of the land, little idea of kind of what kind of stocks you might have in your portfolio were you to invest in VHT. So the first one is United Health, number 2 is J&J, and number 3 is Eli Lilly. And I just want to say here before we get rolling, none of this is financial advice. I offer this stuff to you because I want to teach you something from what I know and what I've gleaned from years of investing so that you can be the most intelligent and best prepared investor possible. That is my goal to you. So the number 2 is VTV, and that is the Vanguard Value ETF. I also invest in this ETF, and its expenses are really low, 0.04%. And top 3 holdings, Berkshire Hathaway, number 1. What's not to love? Number 2, ExxonMobil, and number 3, United Health Group. I just like investing in value stocks, and so when I saw this ETF this year, I decided I want to invest in this as part of my 5 ETF portfolio. I've been investing in the Avantis US Small Cap Value ETF, Vanguard Small Cap ETF, VTV, which we just mentioned, VHT, and VGT every month of this year. I invest in all 5 of those. avlv, it's the Avantis US Large Cap Value ETF. And that particular ETF costs 0.15 an expense ratio, and the top 3 holdings are Meta, Apple, and Merck. Now, I like this particular kind of investing in large cap value stocks, but AVLV is a very new ETF. It's only been around a few years, so the jury is out as to whether this is going to be a really long-term holding. But I wanted to provide something other than just Vanguard ETFs, right? Because some of the other new kids on the block deserve their shot. So anyways, VTV and AVLV are kind of similar in the stocks that they invest in. But as you can see, AVLV chose Meta and Apple as the number 1 and 2. And that's very different from the Vanguard's more conservative stock holdings of Berkshire and ExxonMobil. So we will see which one of these turns out to be a better ETF, but until then, I just wanted to share those. Number 4 is VEA, and that is the Vanguard Developed Markets ETF. This ETF basically invests in like the S&P 500 of developed markets outside the US. So if you want to invest in very high quality companies, profitable businesses, not any of this emerging market stuff, we're talking about tried and true profitable, then VEA I think is a really smart choice. Top 3 holdings: Nestle, Novo Nordisk, that's the pharmaceutical company, they make a lot of insulin medications and other stuff, and ASML, which is that really famous chip maker based, I think, in the Netherlands. So that's VEA 0.05. That is so cheap for that kind of developed markets international exposure. And the 5th ETF that I'm going to talk about with you guys today is vxus. And for those of you who do not have an international holding or are thinking of diversifying outside the US, vxus is definitely worth looking at. It's super cheap, 0.07 expense ratio. And, you know, this Vanguard Total International Stock ETF, I mean, what's not to love? First holding is Taiwan Semiconductor, so one of the largest chip makers in the world. Number 2 is Nestle. And number 3 is the Chinese media and internet giant Tencent. All those games, all those Chinese-made video games and all kinds of stuff. Anyways, those are the 3 top holdings. vxus has thousands of stocks in the portfolio. So what do you guys think? What are your investing for the rest of your life ETF picks? What kinds of investments do you think make sense for the long term? You have an idea of what I'm investing in this year. I just mentioned it earlier. And my one other monthly ETF investment has been VTI, because I just like the US exposure. It's real simple. Looking out further, this is kind of one of those things when you think, well, I'm trying to help you invest for the long term. Sometimes the thing that's happening right now does not continue forever. So it's possible that companies outside of the US enjoy a better future for a number of different reasons. Political stuff in the US, economic problems in the US, or just smaller companies in countries like China and Taiwan, Japan, Brazil, India. Those economies could actually grow faster than ours because they're kind of nascent. They're growing, they're very young, but they may grow at a faster rate. This is within the realm of possibility. And so don't just think that what's happening right now will continue forever. Don't just think that VGT is going to go to 50%, to 75%, to 150% this year, because trees don't grow to the sky. They tend to grow as high as everybody thinks they can until that last person buys at the top tick, and then things come back down. So it's impossible to know what's going to happen in markets going forward. But the one thing I can tell you for sure is that nobody knows and nobody can predict it. And that is the benefit of diversifying your investment portfolio across different things. Because when the you know what hits the fan, you want to have a little bit in all the different buckets so that one of your buckets going down doesn't sink the whole ship. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, because it'll tell other people out there in YouTube land, hey, you might like this video. You might learn something from it. And if you haven't yet subscribed, I provide information about investing in ETFs, both here in the US and outside emerging markets and international. And sometimes I even talk about global ETFs. So if you want to up your ETF investing game, whether you're just beginning with investing, you're just starting out, or maybe you've been doing this for a while, but you really want to lock in some good gains over the long run, that's what I'm all about. Then subscribe to this channel and we will bring you some new, exciting, and fun content in the weeks and months ahead. So glad you joined us today, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.